Hi, thanks for joining me. Before I get started, I want to show you springtime in Kansas City, if you can see that. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm gonna drive around again. It's less rainy here. Sun is finally shining. It's like the first time in a week and a half. We're blessed with early spring rain. So in the last video, I was just saying, you can't work out your salvation with fear and trembling without really intensely looking into the foundation of your faith. Meaning, all of these teachers, all of these pastors, all of these churches, we really need to investigate where their doctrines are coming from. And this is my plea to you, America. We absolutely need to stop just taking all of this information for granted and just, being sheeple and going with the flow and not questioning things. And again, we're supposed to parallel the things that are happening in the world. And I'm telling you, a huge part of what's opened up my eyes, like a grand finale, is the Pedogate and the Pizzagate. And you're going to hear me talk about it all the way through, from the first video that I've ever made, probably until the last. Until the Lord brings down the ring and stops this pedophilia that's plagued our whole entire world. Okay, so gotta drop off some mail. So, all right, like I said, I have less than 15 minutes to do each segment that I'm doing. I'm gonna give you the rundown. This is what I'm asking. You can start with your church history depending on maybe the year you were born or the year that your parents were born. I'm trying to say, this is generational stuff that we need to look into. And I'm all about breaking the cycles of abuse. Okay? And people, as well as I do, people are using the name of Jesus to exploit children, to exploit boys, to exploit girls, to exploit men, to exploit women. To make merchandise of you is what the scripture says. We cannot underestimate. What does that mean? It doesn't just mean because you're tithing. The bigger picture is literally, our churches are guilty for human trafficking, however small or large they are attached to a ring, okay? And I'm just going to throw one example that we know for absolute certainty. Crap, and I can't even think of his name, but he just passed away last year, or just passed away this year, of cancer. See? I don't watch these guys and I don't know their names very well. But people have said, teenagers have said that they were sexually abused by this man. Okay? And look, we have to start this dialogue, okay? I don't understand why people are too afraid to speak up. I just don't understand it, okay? But to some degree, I do understand it, because when you are in those churches, the brainwashing and the manipulation and the MK Ultra mind control all around you, it's these blanket statements that keep you silent, that quench your Holy Spirit fire, that quench your questioning. You're not allowed to question people in the churches. A lot of people are ostracized. You're looked down upon. You're berated. we cannot underestimate this power of mind control that's happening in our churches. And God help me to try to prove it to you. By literally going to churches, trying to record, and watch them stop me. They don't want their systems exposed. They're more cultish than you realize. They are. Oh shoot, I forgot to stop. Whoa. Man. Anyway, it's so windy here. So for me, when I started waking up to the bigger picture of what I'm asking for you to do, okay, it really started with the Pope, okay? Pope Francis. I have never been interested in Catholicism. Why do I need to look into that? I don't know. I just felt compelled that I needed to. And like I've said before, it was this giant meteor that came out of nowhere. Nobody knew that it was hitting our atmosphere, and it hit in Russia. It's caught on camera. It blew out windows. It was scary. And maybe it was because I was reading, I had just finished reading all of the prophets in the Old Testament and the book of Revelation. And my eyes were just opening up to such a degree that it just seemed like, wow, all these mysteries in the book of Revelation are detailed in these prophets. Through these stories, these testimonies of the Old Testament prophets. It just was like, wow, things are really starting to make sense to me. And because of the Pope, somehow I ended up finding a documentary called Silence in the House of God. And you've heard all about the sexual abuse happening excuse me, in the Catholic churches. Little bits here, little bits there. This documentary was done by HBO about the school of the deaf in Wisconsin. I've never understood the bigger picture more until I saw that video. And it just opened up, exposing this international pedophile ring. And I'm going to be graphic, okay? It needs to be said. And you need to understand. There are quotes by these priests who say how easy it is to molest a deaf child because no one can hear them screaming. Think about that. This is how overwhelmed I am about the children. And this video or this documentary, there's whistleblowers who say, they've worked in the priesthood industry as psychological investigators. They know all the horror stories of the pedophilia that's happening and the rape of the children. And in this guy's own words, he says, you know what? The Catholic Church, they deny, minimize, and blame pedophilia, and at the same time, they are creating pedophiles. They're protecting pedophiles. You guys. So like I'm saying, we have to parallel these things about vice versa, what's happening in the world to what's happening in the churches. So we need to understand the reason why the pedogate and the Pizzagate and all this stuff is just allowed seemingly endlessly with no investigations that go anywhere. Because this is what these documentaries are proving, okay? There's this like vow of silence, and everyone is protecting everyone. I have like 3 minutes left. And it is a great big deal in understanding how Satan is the ruler of this world and blinding the eyes of everyone in it and deceiving everyone. This is a mystery of iniquity. This is so devastating, this deception. And why these abusers are allowed to do what they do in the churches. I mean, this is part of the plague. And I'm driving to one of the churches, and I'm going to tell you a story about what happened to me there. What God revealed to me. I don't know how to stress it to you guys enough. There really is this fog of deception that happens when there is murder and incest and pedophilia and crime happening in a family, in a household, in a church. You have got to start understanding that when the Lord gives you a promise about something, such as like he gave to me a couple of years ago, he was shouting at me, "Come out from among them. Touch not the unclean thing, receive not of the plagues, and then I will receive you." I did not understand it all at the time, people. I'm telling you, this is just how God works, okay? And don't be like these word of faith people. All the people in the churches, they say you have to have a confirmation 3 times in order for it to be true. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't need people to confirm what the Lord is telling you. Look at the story of the prophets and the apostles. Do you really think Jonah needed 3 confirmations? Okay, if I'm wrong, you prove that to me. Jonah needed 3 confirmations before he went to the land of Nineveh. Okay? We just need to stop brainwashing ourselves and believing all these false lies. Do you understand how devastating this is? Do we understand how devastating these things are? Where are we having a conversation on these matters? People, this is not something you're going to hear on the nightly news. The news isn't about God's business. The news is about Satan's business, not the Lord's. Okay? We have to declare the works of the Lord through whatever it is that he is revealing to us. This is my encouragement to you. It's my final word to you. If something happened to me and I could never make another video, please follow some of what I'm trying to tell you and just trust God, because that's what I'm doing. Okay? I'm just throwing it all out there. And I can't be afraid, because this is ultimately my point. Less than 1 minute. Here I go. Ultimately, my point is that where are all the survivors? Where are the survivors? Where are the MK Ultra survivors? Where are these survivors who were in these churches when scandals broke out? Where are these people? And to create a conversation and discuss these things. Are you seriously trying to tell me that you believe touch not my anointed applies to you in the matter, that you're not supposed to expose darkness? All right, I'll be back.